Geobyte.
Dear students, now let us discuss another important concept, that is collision. As you know, collision means it is an instant where one moving body will be instantly contacting the another body. Okay, so collision is happening instantaneously, means within no time. Okay, similarly, look at the another important point. Collision is an event in which an impulse force acts between two or more bodies for a short time. The collision is happening in very less time, which results in change of their velocities or change of their energies. Okay. Similarly, look at the another important point. In a collision, particles may or may not come in physical contact. So in collision, particles may be directly in contact or may not be directly contacting. The duration of collision, that is delta t, is negligible as compared to the usual time interval of observation of time. It means the collision time is very less compared to the time of event which is going to happen. Okay. Now look at the different instance where the collision is happening. Look at the two bodies like body A and body B. They are colliding. After colliding, the both bodies are moving with different velocities like va and vb. This is the one incident. Similarly, look at the another case where, right, where the collision is happening between the two cars. Okay. Similarly, look at the another instant where the collision is happening in the space. Okay. Similarly, look at the another instant where one particle is colliding with another particle. After that, both bodies may be moving separately. So these are all the different instances where the collision is happening. Understood clearly? Yes. Dear students, remember, the collisions can be classified into different ways. The first classification is based on the conservation of kinetic energy, and the second classification based on the direction of colliding objects. Okay. Now look at the first classification based on the conservation of kinetic energy. Okay. Based on the conservation of kinetic energy, the collisions are three types. First one, perfectly elastic collision. Second one, inelastic collision is also called semi-elastic collision. Semi-elastic collision. And third one is perfectly inelastic collision. So based on the kinetic energy, right, during the collision, the collisions are three types. Perfectly elastic collision, inelastic collision is also called semi-elastic collision. Third one, perfectly inelastic collision. Okay. Now look at the meaning of perfectly elastic collision. If in a collision, kinetic energy after collision is equal to kinetic energy before collision, the collision is said to be a perfectly elastic collision. That means if the kinetic energy before collision is equal to kinetic energy after collision, that kind of collision is called perfectly elastic collision. Okay. Whereas the semi-elastic collision means if in a collision kinetic energy after collision is not equal to kinetic energy before collision, this kind of collision is said to be said to be inelastic collision or semi-elastic collision. Dear friends, remember, in semi-elastic collision, after colliding, both bodies are trying to move separately. And one more important point is, in semi-elastic collision, momentum is not conserved. Let me write that point. Momentum is not conserved. Whereas in a perfectly elastic collision, momentum is conserved. Momentum is conserved. Okay. Similarly, look at the perfectly inelastic collision. If in a collision, the bodies stick together or move with the same velocity after the collision is said to be perfectly inelastic collision. The difference between the inelastic collision and perfectly inelastic collision is here the kinetic energy before collision and after collision not equal, right? Momentum also, momentum is not conserved, is not conserved, but after collision, in case of perfectly inelastic collision, after collision, both bodies are stick together and are trying to move with the same velocity. But in the inelastic collision, that is second case, after colliding, both bodies are separately moving. Okay. So in the second case and third case, momentum is not conserved, whereas in the first case, momentum is conserved. Now look at the meaning of coefficient of restitution. Look at the right definition for coefficient of restitution. Look at the right two bodies. Body A is maintaining the velocity UA. Body B is maintaining the UB velocity before collision. Because of the collision, velocities are changing. The velocity of the body A after collision is VA and body B is VB. Then coefficient of restitution is defined like this. It is the ratio between velocity of velocity of separation, velocity of separation along line of impact, velocity of separation along line of impact dividing by velocity of approach, velocity of approach along line of impact. According to our diagram, velocity of separation is VB minus VA dividing by velocity of approach is UA minus UB. Okay, that is the mathematical formula for coefficient of restitution. Dear friends, remember it has no units. It has no dimensional formula and you know units. Dear friends, remember the coefficient of restitution. The coefficient of restitution is 1. It is printing mistake. Coefficient of restitution is 1 for the perfectly inelastic collision. Coefficient of restitution is 1 means the velocity of the separation is equal to velocity of approach. Let me write that point here. Velocity of separation, velocity of separation is equal to velocity of approach. Okay. Now for the semi-elastic collision, velocity of separation, velocity of separation, velocity of separation is equal to E times the velocity of approach. Okay. Whereas for the last case, velocity of separation equal to 0. Velocity of separation, velocity of separation is equal to 0 because after colliding, both bodies are joined as a single unit trying to travel with the same velocity. That's why coefficient of restitution is 0 for a perfectly inelastic collision. That means there is no separation between the two colliding bodies in case of perfectly inelastic collision after collision. Okay. So in the first case, velocity of the separation equal to velocity of the approach. In the second case, velocity of separation is e times the velocity of approach. Whereas in the third case, velocity of separation equal to 0. Okay. Similarly, look at the another important point. In case of perfectly elastic collision, the kinetic energy after collision equal to kinetic energy before collision. That point already we discussed. Inelastic collision, here kinetic energy, kinetic energy appears in other forms. That is, in some cases, final kinetic energy may be less than initial kinetic energy, such as when initial kinetic energy is converted to internal energy. That means, in case of inelastic collision, final kinetic energy may be less than initial kinetic energy. Whatever the kinetic energy which is decreasing, that will be converted to internal energy or heat energy, or that may be energy causing for changing the shape of the colliding objects. Okay, similarly, look at the another important point for the perfectly inelastic collision. The term perfectly inelastic does not necessarily mean that all the initial kinetic energy lost. Here, all the initial kinetic energy need not be lost. It implies that the loss in kinetic energy is large enough, right? The total kinetic energy will not be becoming loss, but major part of the kinetic energy is losing because of the because after colliding both bodies are joined together and moving as a single unit. Okay, now look at the example for the perfectly elastic collision between atomic particles. Collision between atomic particles is the best example for perfectly elastic collision. Whereas for inelastic collision, collision between two billiard balls. Collision between two balls is the best example for inelastic collision. Similarly, the collision between bullet and a block is the best example for perfectly inelastic collision. Okay, this is the first classification based on the conservation of kinetic energy. Similarly, the second classification is based on the direction of colliding the objects. Okay, based on that, the collisions are two types. First one is head-on collision, is also called one-dimensional collision. Second one is oblique collision. So based on the direction of colliding objects, the collisions are two types. First one, head-on collision, is also called one-dimensional collision. Second one, oblique collision. Now look at the meaning of head-on collision. In a collision, if the motion of the colliding particles before and after collision is along the same line, that means before collision and after collision, if the objects are traveling in the same line, that kind of collision is called one-dimensional collision, is also called head-on collision. That type of collision is said to be a one-dimensional collision. Right? Now look at the meaning of oblique collision. If two particles collision glancing, that is such that their directions of motion after collision are not along the initial line of motion, the collision is called oblique collision. That means after colliding, if the objects are moving in different directions, that kind of collision is called oblique collision. If in oblique collision, the particles before and after collision are in the same plane, then the collision is called two-dimensional collision. Otherwise, it is called three-dimensional collision. That means if the particles are traveling in the same plane before colliding and after colliding, that kind of right collision is called two-dimensional collision. Otherwise, it may be called as three-dimensional collision. Okay. Similarly, look at the another important point. In case of head-on collision, impact parameter B is 0 for this kind of collision. Look at the meaning of impact parameter. Look at the second case. Look at the second case. The first body is traveling in this particular direction. Look at the second one. This is the second one. The second body center. Look at the center line of the first body and second body. This is the gap between the center line between the first body and second body. That gap between the center line of the two objects which are under collide is called impact parameter. Okay. So in case of head-on collision, impact parameter generally denoted with B is 0 for this kind of collision. Look at the example. Collision of two gliders on an air track. Similarly, the colliding of truck with the car in our arrangement is also coming under one-dimensional collision. Similarly, look at the oblique collision. Impact parameter B is in between 0 and R1 plus R2, where R1 is the radius of the first object, R2 be the radius of the second object. That means in case of oblique collision, the impact parameter is in between. Impact parameter is less than R1 plus R2 but more than 0. Okay. Example for oblique collision. Collision of billiard balls. Collision of billiard balls is the best example for oblique collision. That is about the classifications of collisions. Understood clearly? Yes.
Geobyte.